Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. You join me down at the storage yard on a very drizzly day, and today we're going to be installing this. It's a 12 volt socket. Now, if you have been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I have a Falcon 4G router, which I love. It does a great job, but the cable has to come down the side of the Caravan, through the window, and then it goes behind the lounge settee, if you will, past the front threshold of the door, up and then into a 12 volt socket. Now this is great, but it can be a bit of a faff, and I wanted a better alternative to this. So I had a look at what was on the market, and basically to have an outside housing for a 12 volt fitted was quite expensive. So I thought there must be an alternative way of doing this. So I come up with one, and that is this little 12 volt socket I've got here. It's a 10 amp, which is suitable for what I want, and I'm going to be fitting it inside the battery box. Now, since I've changed over from lead acid leisure battery to lithium, I've got more room in my battery box, so it's going to fit perfect. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. So first of all, let's look at some of the tools, the item that I've bought, and we'll get on with the job. Okay, so quite a few tools today. We've got 2 crosshead screwdrivers. We've got a drill. We've got a set of crimpers. We've also got some wire strippers, a set of wire cutters. We've got a hole saw. I'll give you the dimensions of that one in a moment. I understand from reading it, it's 32mm. We've also got some sockets here and a socket wrench. That's to remove the battery in my case. You may not need to do this, but you may have to disconnect the battery should you wish to be doing this job, especially around the battery area. We've also got a battery operated screwdriver, and we've got some electrical tape and some material electrical tape, which I'm going to use for a loom. So that is the kit that we need, with the exception of we need a small drill bit to pilot the initial hole to accept the hole saw. In my case, that's 4mm. Okay, so these are the items that we've got to do this upgrade. It says USB on here, but it's not. It's actually a 12 volt socket, like the old-fashioned cigarette lighter. And it's got 2 male spade connectors on the opposite side, and it indicates plus and minus. Now, what I like about this, it's got a thread as well, so once we've piloted our hole and drilled it, we can fit this through and then tighten it up, and it locks into place. And I may put some electrical tape round here as well, just to stop it from unwinding. It does come with its own little cable, which is no use, so I'm going to discard that. And it does have a couple of spade connectors with it and some screws, and we don't need those either. What we do need is some spade connectors of our own, which I prefer these type, like so. And also 2 piggyback spade connectors, which I'll explain more where they're going, but they're going into an existing 12 volt supply. Next, we have our cable. Now, I've already pre-bind this with the material tape because I wanted to create my own loom. But I've put an inline fuse in here, and I've already fitted off camera 2 spade connectors, and they're going to fit into the actual socket here. Now, this cable is approximately 3.5 meters long, which suits my purpose. On the opposite end, we have got 2 further strip cables, and these will accept the piggybacks. So let's show you whereabouts I'm going to fit this socket. Now, this is where I'm going to piggyback my 12 volt from. It's a 12 volt USB charging point, and it's at the front of the Caravan by the chest, which we're going to remove because I want to do this properly. There's 4 screws, 2 on that side, and there's 2 on that side as well. And then we will be removing the actual plastic casing there so that we can access it from underneath. Now, the cable is going to be fed down along underneath here And it's actually going to end up just here where my finger is, on this plastic box here, and that's where we're going to be drilling. So first of all, I'll remove the chest. So we've now removed the chest, and as you can see here, we've got some more screws at the front there, and we do have some just on this side. I can't quite show you with the camera, but there are some screws on the other side as well. And we're going to be feeding the cable through this little area here and tying it in like we have done with this one. So I'll just get on with removing that now so you can see how we can progress from there. Okay, so a top tip, I've given it a clean because it was a bit dusty behind there, but if you'll notice here, there's a pencil mark there and there's one on the opposite side here, and I've done that just so that I know that I can align this section back up and get it aligned with the holes when I've finished. Now the one we're concentrating on is going to be this one here, which is 12 volt, and that's where our piggyback cables are going to go. So I'm going to get on with that now off camera, and then I'll show you when it's completed. So here is my battery box. Now I really would have liked to have fitted it in this section here, but with the main socket here, and we've also got the isolation switch for the motor mover, it makes it a little bit difficult because I can't attach it here neither because the cable will get in the way. So I had a look, and like I say, because I've got a lithium battery now, my plan is to put it in that top right hand corner there. So for me, I'm going to remove the battery first of all so that I can actually get the hole drilled and connect the wires. Plus, safety first, we should disconnect the battery anyway because we're messing with the 12 volt. Okay, so we've drilled our pilot hole from the outside inwards, but when we actually take our hole saw in a moment, we're going to be drilling from the inside out. Now, the reason why I chose 32mm is, if you see here, it just fits snugly. We've got a little bit of wiggle room, but other than that, I'm happy with that. It's going to fit snugly. You don't want it oversized, obviously. You don't want it smaller. Now, if you purchase one of these, it might be a different size thread, so just be mindful of that when you do it. But for this one, 32mm. Okay, so our piggyback cables are connected. I'm quite happy with that fix now. Before I put it back together, we'll do the rest of the wiring. Okay, so here is the actual socket set up. I'm going to test it, make sure that it's working. If you notice just here, I've just put a little adhesive clip. Just neatens it up a little bit and stops the wires falling all over the place. And I will put some tape on the thread here to stop that nut coming undone, as it will, we're bouncing up and down towing the van. So let's take a look from the outside. So here it is, nice and neat, ready to go. I'll put the battery back in and test it. So here it is, it's been tested, it's working fine, which I'm really thrilled about. And I've also added a little bit more tape to the connections to stop them working loose as well. And as you can see, the tape's on as well to stop the thread coming loose as well. So I'm really happy with that now. Buttoned up nicely now. So we've got it all screwed back in, and the cables are quite neat. I only had one, unfortunately I didn't have any cable ties with me, so I've just used one of them twist ties just to neaten it off. But it's going to be behind the chest, so it doesn't really matter. I'll put the chest on now and we can finish up. Well folks, that's how I fitted a 12 volt socket for external use on the Caravan. Now, the battery box for me was the only location where I could fit it. If you've got a locker which is sealed from the inside / outside underneath your front bench, then it might be the best place to fit it there because it'd be easier to fit. But like I say, I had no alternative. It had to go in the battery box. It was a shame that I couldn't fit it close to where the main socket was. But with the isolation switch for the motor mover being situated there, I had no alternative. So the right hand corner of the battery box was perfect. It took me about an hour to actually do this, and it probably take you the same depending on your DIY skill level. It also cost around about £25 to actually do this project. It was £6 for this. Then obviously you've got your cabling and you've also got your crimping sockets as well. So if you've not got a crimping tool, don't worry about it. You can use pliers. You've just got to be a little bit more creative. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you'll join us again real soon. But in the meantime, bye for now.